Oh, Alenka's mid-month movie review.
Welcome to Alenka's mid-month movie review, where Alenka reviews a couple of the movies we've already covered on our main feed. I'm Will.
And I'm Alenka.
Yes, she is. And Alenka, what movies are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about Carrie and My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Those are two, they're like very different movies, and I'm so confused as why you picked those two.
I know. That is exactly why I picked those two, because I wanted to spice things up. I wanted it super different. But then I realized at the start of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, there's some similarities.
Ooh, I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with Fat Wedding? Or?
So I want to start in the. Sometimes you got to check if you're having a stroke because you can't talk, and I, sorry, do it all the time. I want to talk in the order that I watched them, which was Carrie and then My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
All right. Well, what did you think of Carrie?
So I want to like it. I want to say that I liked it. I was fine with it. There were parts that I just really couldn't stand. So like when you first start it, I just don't like, and this is the similarity that I want to compare to, because I keep thinking like, oh, there's nothing that I didn't like about My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And then I'm like, well, there is. There's things that I can hate on. I don't like watching this woman on screen that is so helpless and like not stupid, but just like doesn't know how to do like anything. Doesn't know how to do anything. And I understand the more the movie gets into it, the more you're like, okay, fine, I can accept that type of person. But in the beginning, drove me buck wild. Absolutely upset. That said, also, physically watching, what's her name?
Sissy Spacek?
Sissy Spacek?
Yeah.
Was a lot for me to take. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about.
She in that movie, she's so it's almost like creepy just how weird she is, but obviously we understand later why.
But do we even understand? Her mom. Okay.
Yeah, her mom.
Her mother. Now that it begs the question, like, why are in all these like older like horror movies or scary movies? Mm-hmm. What would you classify Carrie as? Horror?
It's a horror.
Really?
Yeah, it's a horror. Yeah.
In these old horror movies, why does the female lead always do like the
weird,
like super wide eyes and like like and yeah, like Zach. What is that?
What is that
character
move
from The Shining? The wife in The Shining.
Oh yeah, that is keep talking. That is
that's. She's got the dark hair.
She's a famous actress who basically stopped acting after that movie. But Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, she
was shocked all the time. It's the Shelley Duvall face in all of these old horror movies, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, really? Is that the look you're giving? And also just so much delayed reaction or like no reaction from some of the actors. There was just some, and like, whatever.
That's partly because I feel like, well, maybe not exactly, but it's like those old horror movies have like, they had like a fraction of the budget that like current horror movies have in terms of like old horror movies didn't even compare to like the regular kind of big budget movies back in the day. Whereas now modern horror movies have much bigger budgets in comparison to the other movies. Whereas back in the day, they weren't taken as seriously. So they had very little budgets, which means they had very little budget for like, I would say good actors sometimes. Right. Although John Travolta's in this one and he's great.
Yeah. I mean, is he not just John Travolta in like most of those early movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's just how he
John
is.
Travolta guy.
Right. Yeah. He's just like a guy.
But he's also just like terrible guy in this movie.
Yeah. And also, since we're talking about John Travolta, can we just talk about the BJ scene and how dumb that is? Like, because she's saying his name, just the noises don't make sense.
No,
The
it doesn't.
conversation they're having doesn't make sense, and that was my biggest qualm with Carrie.
I totally understand you. Yeah, that's your biggest qualm is someone's talking during a blowjob
Yeah,
when physically they shouldn't be able to.
they wouldn't be able to. And then also, and the hands are all over the place, and it's like,
It is.
what's holding it up?
It's not a
What's
good.
holding it up?
It's not a good representation of a BJ,
Right.
so to speak.
So I would say Carrie is extremely unrealistic for that sole purpose.
All
That
right.
said, Mom was fantastic. Mom was
Yes.
great.
She is very good in this movie. That's Piper Laurie.
Right. And
is
I
the
remember,
actress.
yeah. And I remember when we were talking with Bex about this, you guys were, singing her praises. And I get it. At first, I was like, when it first started, I was like, oh, it's going to be this type of character. I was like, this is going to be so hard to like do well. I feel like it is, especially from a movie of this time. I was not expecting it to be portrayed so well. I don't know what other word to use.
Yeah. No, it was
Like, it
well
didn't-
done.
Yeah, it was extremely that this type of character is extremely over the top, but it didn't, and she does things that are extremely over the top, but it still didn't feel unrealistic, which I thought was so interesting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a performance that definitely is not matched in the remake. That's for sure.
Right. I felt very intrigued to watch the remake only because in the final scene when she's killing everybody, also like I kind of like that moment for her where she's just like silent.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do
yeah.
like that moment. Oh, and I'm glad we're getting it. Sorry, you want to say something?
Oh, so this is actually a feel-good movie.
Yeah, it does feel good.
It's a tale of an underdog who rises
It
up
does feel good.
to be the best.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I remember when you and Bex were talking about this that you guys said that not everybody in the gymnasium was laughing at her, but she she was basically clouded by the anger that she thought it was everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not. Everyone is laughing at her, are they not?
No,
Like,
I think that because there's I feel like there's sections of that scene where it's like you see people who aren't.
Right. They're uncomfortable
But when
with
she's
it.
looking, it's like everyone is, and it's
Yeah.
kind of she's just clouded by her own
Okay.
feelings of judgment.
Right. Because after it kind of showed her version, it never really cuts back to people like looking disgusted.
Yeah.
So I actually got confused and I was like, no, Bex and Will are wrong.
Maybe we were.
They're-
Maybe we were out of our fucking.
But it
minds.
doesn't make sense. It honestly doesn't make sense that would happen. And also, I love the prom for her. It is quite the bummer when she gets the blood on her.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, just imagine how well she would have done. It's one of those moments where, like, you're realizing that, like, other people are starting to realize that she's actually, like, normal.
Mhm.
And, like, she's starting to have more confidence in herself. And also, like, the saddest thing ever, I thought, when, like, the gym teacher comes up to her and she's like, oh, my goodness, you look so beautiful. And she's like, well, I know I'm not, but thank you. Usually when you hear a girl like respond to a compliment like that, it drives you crazy because they're like fishing for more. But in this respect, it actually made me feel so sad because based off how this character behaves, that that's truly how she feels. And I hated that for her.
Oh yeah.
But then she gets like, her date, obviously he ends up starting to like actually like her, which is slightly problematic. We could talk about that, but that's not the point. Point is that she's, whatever, he's starting to actually know her and see her, and she's fucking normal, and everything seems to be like going well. She's starting to make more friends, blah blah blah, and then bloodbath, and then she kills everybody. Not just bloodbath and it's humiliating, it's bloodbath, and then she kills everybody. So now there's literally no hope for you to nothing for you anymore.
Nothing whatsoever.
Which is so sad to think about because there's so many people that were on her side when that happened.
Oh yeah.
So many people.
Totally. She could have done a lot better.
Right.
But then she kills her mother, and that's like satisfying too.
Right, I guess.
She like tosses those knives at her.
I
Just
hated
fucking-
that scene, honestly. I didn't
Really?
like, pretty much once we got into where Carrie starts throwing the knives at her, I started to really not like the ending at all.
Yeah.
And like, I get that, like, okay, special effects weren't like a thing, but like,
It was like too cheesy. It was too.
the house
Knives on
starts
strings.
caving into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually. Like, I just was like, what?
Because it's
fuck?
like, I think because she's like a demon of some sort. She's like, it's literal like Satan possession sort of thing. So the
Is
house
it
is
so?
like going down into
Yeah.
hell sort of
Back
thing.
to home.
Yeah. Back to
Yeah.
home base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And
I
this
like.
movie kind of ends like Friday the 13th ends, which is
Oh, with the dream thing. Yeah.
where she's like goes.
That
to
actually
the
spooked
house.
me. That spooked me.
That spooked me too.
Because, and I was excited about, because I knew it was coming. I actually couldn't remember, but I was like, there's obviously going to be a hand that comes out. And I was like, they won't do it. They won't do it. And then
they're cowards. They won't. Do
and
it.
they did it.
Yeah.
And at first, when that scene starts, thank God it was a dream, because I was looking at it and I was like, why is that ash pile for sale? What kind of realtor is putting the ash pile up for sale?
Honestly, nowadays I would not doubt it. That ash
That's
pile,
pretty much
going,
what is for
That's
sale.
going for 300,000 minimum.
Bruh, I cannot even begin. I can't tell you how many houses, like, new builds especially, are just garbage. If you're out there and you like new build houses, you are wrong, because they're built like shit.
Oh yeah,
And
they're
you're wrong.
pricey
You're
as
garbage.
hell.
Yeah, pricey as hell. And they don't even feel like a house. They feel like you're in a condo.
Yeah. Welcome to the Haven't Appraised It podcast.
Haven't appraised a podcast. Don't buy a new build, you guys. Be better than that. Seriously.
All right. Well, I mean, so what do you give Carrie?
Did we last time use
I don't know. We still have to figure out our format for this segment, but
Right. Okay, I give this. I also hated the pig scene. I know you don't
Oh.
see anything. I just didn't like that.
oh, what about the dirty pillows comments?
Right. So odd. So weird. Like, just out of
Dirty
nowhere.
pillows. Yeah, I know.
She's just getting ready, and it's like it's just so awesome. It's so odd, because it feels like the mom's like hypersexual almost.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's so anti it that it makes her hypersexual. So like,
Yeah.
every day in, day out, she's probably like chastising herself simply because she's probably having normal thoughts every
About
day.
sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just whipping herself
Yeah,
like the dude from the Da Vinci Code.
sure. I don't know.
I know you don't.
Couldn't tell you.
I can't wait to do that movie. I love that movie.
Well, one day. So what do I rate this? What have we decided? We haven't decided anything.
No.
Honestly, I really enjoyed it. If we're just going to do a normal scale from 1 to 10, on it, as boring as that is, like, it makes it easier for me to convey my true feelings about this movie. I would probably give it like an 8.5. I really liked it.
That's pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
glad-
as
I'm
much
glad
as
you
like
liked it.
there was all this dumb shit in it, I still thought it was quite enjoyable, and I was hooked.
Now, what's the connection to My Big Fat Greek Wedding? I'm trying to think.
Right. So in the beginning of My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
Mm-hmm.
Tula is like Carrie, like, doesn't, to me, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
she
yeah.
doesn't talk. She doesn't
Mhm.
know how to do anything.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off. And I don't really understand why.
She's in an awkward phase. She was in an awkward phase.
She's in an awkward phase. And then she goes to college and just like, I don't even care for that montage. Like, I remember.
Oh, yeah. It speeds the movie up so quickly. I forgot about it until I was watching it earlier. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. They like, because it's about the wedding. They got to get to the wedding as fast as possible.
I know. And like, as weird as this sounds, this movie made me not want to get married. It seems like a lot.
Now, would Czech / Slovene
Right. So
traditions
I
be
get
similar,
what you're trying to say.
or like, are there
No.
similarities or no? Greek is.
See, here's the
completely
thing
different,
is
right?
like, we're not as like connected, I want to say, to that part of the family as like, not that part of that family, but that part of like our culture, I guess. Like, it's not
Right.
like we all had to like learn the languages of my parents, or we had to like go to certain school. Like, And again, my parents are pretty cool, pretty modern.
Mhm.
So I don't even think they wouldn't be as like up my butt as like
As this
obviously
family,
Tula's parents. Yeah. And the thing that I honestly didn't like about this movie either was like the amount of Greek, like, would we call it patriotism? What would we call that?
Greek, like, are you saying Greek patriotism or Greek?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or like Greek, like shitting, or like Greek stereotypes.
Right. Maybe that's what bothered me so much about it. Not that it was like bothersome to watch in that respect, but it was like, they're not that. It's not every single word is going to relate back to Greek. Like, and that's the whole father's like ish.
Yeah.
Is like, it's the only thing he talks about.
Because he loves Greece. He loves
Yeah,
Greece,
I get
man.
that. So, but like, whatever.
What about all the subtle Toronto locations, even though they're supposed to be
I did not even notice.
Yeah,
I did
I know.
not even notice. Not even notice. You want to know what I did notice though? Pretty much any time the dad talked, all I thought of was Katie doing the impressions.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Every time.
She was pretty good at
and she was really good at it.
Yeah,
She was really good at it. So you guys have to listen to that episode to compare because it is shocking now that I've watched it. And yeah, I also got a little distracted with the accents and some of the mannerisms of the people, honestly. I stopped following like storyline quite a bit. And it's just a movie you watch to enjoy.
Yeah.
At least it was for me.
It's a fun romp, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Joey Fatone is in it.
Who is that
Fatone.
guy?
He was one of the cousins. He's from the
guy that looks Italian?
Yeah, from the NSYNC.
Right. Yeah. That's right. We had this conversation where like he's not Greek.
Yeah.
But he's for some reason, and he's very obviously like doesn't look Greek.
Yeah, I think there's a mix of Greek and Italian actors because I guess they couldn't fill out the cast with regular Greek actors.
Right. Sure. I guess not. The thing that I noticed too, just to comment on like society nowadays with everyone having like a very similar face. Get what I'm saying? Social needs and all that stuff. I love seeing normal fucking people with normal faces.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel, and like, especially like with a cast of like, I guess if it was all like Greek and half Italian, like I just love that part of Europe now. And like the facial structure is so nice.
Well, that was the big thing about the movie too, right? Is like Nia Vardalos was not the classic leading lady at that time, and that's why it was became so popular. She's Canadian, and she also wrote the movie too.
Right,
came a big old thing.
Big old thing for her.
Now I've not watched the second one, but we need to do the second one, I guess.
Do we? I honestly don't care to do that. Like I had enough with the first one.
Yeah,
like the first one was fine. It's fine, like fine to watch.
Yeah, there didn't really need to be a second one.
But yeah, I don't think having a second one bears any merit. And also like it was fine to watch. It wasn't like, oh man, I want to watch this again and again because it was so funny or it was so cute or it was whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm glad I had that one in the books.
I know. Did you drink some ouzo while you watched it?
No.
I drank
red wine.
I still have that bottle of ouzo.
No.
I'm pretty sure I still have that bottle of ouzo from when we did that episode.
For real? I thought we mixed that with stuff though.
Oh, I might have mixed it with stuff, but I feel like there's just a little bit. Little
couple drops.
I used to drink it just like straight, just a little in a cup. It's nice. It's not bad.
Isn't it like
it's similar to like a black licorice a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Like Sambuca. That's what I keep thinking.
Sambuca.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Yeah. What else can I say about this movie? Yeah.
So you wouldn't watch it again? Just kind of a one and done type thing.
Yeah, probably not. Like, I didn't care. Like, I just didn't really care. Like one part that I liked was like the little girl version of her growing up and being like, oh yeah, like I remember kind of being weird like that. And I didn't care for the college bit like at all. And then when they start falling in love,
up, though, that's her college glow up.
I don't care. It was so weird and weird.
Actually,
It was weird
that
and
that
weird.
you know what? It would be a much more. It would be a more hilarious movie if it were like Tula from the beginning, like diner scenes, but that the whole way through, like she didn't get a glow up before she started dating Ian.
Right. But also like, yeah. And like, this is the other thing I noticed with her like pre glow up look was like, and I don't know if this was makeup or something, but she literally looked so old.
Oh, in the pre?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, that was on purpose for sure. She was supposed
I
to
know
look
it was on purpose, but
homely.
like, homely. But I don't know how she just looked so incredibly old. And I was like, what?
I mean, yeah, I wonder. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Nia Vardalos, how old is she
Also-
now? She's 59 now.
Okay.
And that movie was in 2002. So what's that?
I think, and this is same with my features, but I have like a lot of downturned features, and I feel like
Mhm.
maybe she has some similar,
Yeah.
and that what gives some of that illusion of
Mhm.
looking older,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
corners of your lips and
we
like
probably
the
shouldn't
eyes.
talk about how old an actress looks when we just talked about like how it was like non-typical leading lady and how great that was, because it's great, but I think she was like 39 when they did
But
this
what I'm
movie.
trying to get to is that I'm curious if they literally put makeup on her to make her look,
Oh, definitely.
and I don't know what it was, but it just made her look a lot older. And I was just like shocked by that because it looked like unrealistic to me.
Yeah, I guess
Also,
so. I mean,
I would have
it
liked
was
it.
a low budget movie at the time, so
Fine. Fine.
what'd you like? Sorry, you liked.
I would have liked actually, because honestly, the only thing that I didn't care for about the pre-glow up version of her was her hair. It was like parted all to one side. If
Mhm.
they just like swooped it off her forehead a little bit, it'd be like, it's fine. She
There you go.
looks like
There
the
it is.
same.
Yeah, keep the glasses. Do
All this
everything. Yeah.
glow up
let's do it.
BS. Although it was cute with the eye contact thing. That was a cute scene.
Yeah,
There's some hardcore makeout sessions in this movie. If you want to see that.
definitely. John
He's like
Corbett.
trying to remember. You're like,
Yeah,
right. A few H&H's in the car. Hot and heavies.
hot and heavy hand
H&H.
stuff.
No. 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 They waited until they went to his apartment.
True.
And this was very comical. She literally jumps on him, like
Yeah.
like she pounces him, puts him to the like bed or whatever, and then she has like a moment of pause, and then literally she like dives in again, and that's very funny. That was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you give this movie out of 10?
So okay, so out of 10, honestly, I liked Carrie more, so I'm gonna give this one closer to like a 7.
Yeah, that's
Still good.
Yeah, that's respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for a movie I'll never watch again, probably.
Yeah. Exactly.
And one that made me have major anxiety about ever getting married, like probs.
Yeah. Not until we start our Patreon, which is then rewatching the movies and doing commentary tracks.
Honestly, we need to do that.
We're just going to keep reusing the same movies.
But
all the time.
it'll definitely have to be a movie that I know or that I've already watched.
Yeah.
We
No,
probably
that's what I
should.
mean. It's like
Yeah, okay.
after we've covered them and then you reviewed them, then comes the commentary track.
Yeah, I could do that because when I'm watching a new movie and I need to commentate, that I have a problem with people talking. When we did Psycho Gorman, that was a lot for me to handle.
There's too many people in the back.
And I was like, I missed what happened.
Oh, all right. Well, first off, everyone, if you want to listen to those episodes because you haven't yet, what are you doing? Why are you listening to this? Go back, listen to Carrie, episode 17, featuring Bex there. That was a fun one. And if you want to listen to our Big Fat Greek Wedding, that's episode 18. Oh, they were literally one after the other. Did not even realize
Oh,
that.
man, I didn't realize that either.
That's so funny. Featuring Her Beaver, the gals from Her
and
Beaver.
Katie's
they were
Impressions.
great. And Katie's Impressions. Definitely check that out.
She pegged the dad so well. Like I can even remember seeing her face.
Don't ever say she pegged the dad. That's This is not good. And I encourage you to Google peg later.
Oh, no. No.
Well, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Haven't Seen a Podcast, and on Twitter at haven't_seen_it. And you can also go to our website, haven'tseenitpodcast.com. There you'll see the big list of movies as well as all the other reviews that we've done. Two other episodes. So go check that out and go to our YouTube page to watch the episodes if you're just listening like a pleb. And and we live stream our main feed episodes once a month. First Sunday of the month, but announcements will always be made on our socials. So check it out.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say I chose the word pegged because I was going to say the word nailed, and I thought that would be worse. So I was like, pegged is fine.
Pegged is officially worse now in the current vernacular.
Really? What have I missed?
I mean, no king shaming. Everyone float your boat, but like, yeah.
I literally don't even understand what you're talking. It's fine.
Just Google it. Just Google it.
No, I don't want to Google it. I want someone to explain it to me. So you guys in the comments, please explain. So nervous.
Please do it. Please. Well, take us out, Alenka.
On that note, you guys probably stay current to social media events because then you might say the wrong word. And have a great night. Thanks for watching.
And get pegged.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.